Hey everyone, today I'm here with Phil from Baton. Phil, welcome. Really appreciate you taking the time to be here today.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Great, amazing. So just for everyone watching, obviously we've been working together for a while now with Phil. I think we're like close to a year right now. So I just wanted to sort of sit down and just talk through your experience working with us, where things were before we started working together, what's changed since then, the results you've seen working with us. So just to start us off, could you just give us a quick intro around what you guys do at Baton?
Sure thing. Well, my company Baton is a platform for home services companies to refer leads to each other. So if they get calls outside their service area or for a service need that's outside of their scope that they maybe aren't licensed to handle, or maybe they're just too busy right now or whatever, they can use Baton to refer that lead to another company and get paid for that lead. So we have close to 1,000 pest control, wildlife, and plumbing companies that are on the platform. It's kind of the niche we've doubled down on. It's been growing really fast. It's a lot of fun.
Amazing. Yeah, I know that just from the campaigns we were running, I know that you guys are completely crushing it. So I think it would be great to start just by going back to before we started working together. What exactly were you guys struggling with at the time when it came to generating leads?
We have a pretty compelling value prop, I would think. So at least from our experience. So for us, the hard part was managing, building lists and just managing all of these email outbound campaigns that we knew people would be responsive to. So that's kind of what we approached Alex about, was like, hey, we think we have a good approach to customers. We need help with the lists and managing the outreach and, iterating on how to make it even better over time.
And how were you guys actually like generating leads before we started working together?
Well, most of our leads were coming in from trade shows. We go to a lot of trade shows, and then word of mouth. And, we don't have, at the time, we didn't really have a robust, SDR or outreach type team. We saw this as an opportunity to get more deals at a relatively low cost of acquisition.
All right. So I don't know if you remember our initial conversation. It was like 12 months ago, but do you remember what was it about us that sort of made you decide to work with us? Like, what was it about that specifically? Was there anything that you were also maybe skeptical about, unsure about before getting started, and how you sort of handled that?
I followed Alex on Twitter. So I followed you on Twitter, and I liked your content. I felt like you understood what it took to be successful with cold email. And then I felt good talking to you, first few meetings we had before starting, and good references that came back. So I was willing to give it a shot. And you're also very helpful with the onboarding process, spinning up the accounts, and great communicator. So that was a good experience.
All right. Yeah, I really appreciate that. So since we started working together then, what kind of results have you seen? Feel free to dive into the specifics, whether it's number of deals closed, the quality of the leads, quality of the calls, all that stuff.
Yeah. So we've had about 50 deals come through over the time we've been working together, with, I think, about 300 positive responses, and then about 100 meetings of that. So we have a pretty high close rate, which is great. And I was impressed by the high positive response rate as well. For us, clients will spend a lot of money on marketing, and a lot of the leads they generate are for things they can't do, and everyone's looking for more leads. So, each of those individual clients is worth thousands of dollars a year, as a customer on average. So definitely a good return on what we've spent to generate those.
Amazing. I love to hear that. So I don't know if you remember, but like, what were those first 30 days like when we launched those campaigns? How long did it actually take for you to start seeing results?
It's pretty fast. I think it took about, it takes a little bit to warm up the email accounts, which is expected. But then once we've built out the list, you can just send essentially unlimited numbers of emails. And we took care to make sure that the lists were really qualified, so we'd get the best possible response. But it was pretty fast. In our first 30 days since launch, I think we had 16 customers that ended up signing up with us in that first round. So it was great with that big fresh list that we put together. That was definitely a good early win.
Amazing. And how would you say your sort of overall experience was working with us? So like, from the results and all the numbers, in terms of the communication, the process, and just the partnership as a whole?
The communication was always good. Alex would always send us a monthly report of, hey, here's how many emails we sent, here's how many positive responses, how many meetings we scheduled, and then he took a lot of care to make sure that it was tracked all the way to sales. And so, following up the sales team, making sure that the CRM tracker that we were working on together was updated so that he could be accountable to his performance. I thought that was all good, that communication.
Amazing. So if someone watching this is maybe in a similar position to where you were back at the time before we started working together, maybe they're sort of on the fence considering whether they should maybe work with us or try cold email, what would you tell them from the position you're in right now after working with us for like 12 months?
Well, I feel like of all the channels, cold email has the opportunity to be one of the most cost effective when it comes to testing different angles and messaging with potential clients. So, I mean, I've enjoyed that a lot. Testing different lists and segments and approaches, and you getting data on open rates, response rates, and all that. I think it's definitely a channel that everyone with a big market should be going after. I think it's going to be a cheaper experience than just going straight to Facebook or Google. You're going to get better feedback working with Alex and running these lists. I think everyone could sell their product with cold email if done right, if done well. So, yeah.
Exactly. Those like last few words, I think, where it always comes down to the execution. If it's done right, then you can most definitely see results. I think why most people maybe struggle with cold email, it's that it usually comes down to the execution and not that it's not a good fit for their business or their industry or their niche or any other sort of false belief that they have about the mechanism maybe.
Yeah, and something I liked about working with Alex, especially at the beginning, was coaching our reps and us like on his methodology on responding to the emails and saying, if they respond with something like send me more info, we don't just blast back, every single thing about our platform and then say, do you want to sign up? We give them just enough to get on the meeting. It's always about the meeting. And there's some good tactics that Alex has presented over the time to help turn those positive responses into actual deals customers that we talk to. So we learned a lot working with him just on even how to handle email leads like this.
Amazing. So if anyone wants to find out more about Baton, get in touch with you, where can people find you?
Go to batonleads.com, like passing the baton, BATON leads.com. And if you're a pest control or plumbing company or any other type of home services company, we'd love to talk to you about getting more referrals for your business and helping you monetize the calls that you can't do much with.
Perfect, Phil. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. It's been a pleasure working with you and talking to you as always. So thank you so much.
Thanks.